Good morning, everyone. There we go. It's better. So, my gosh, the topic this morning is really cool. Really cool. Because the storyline has come into such full scope that it's like the final. It's like the final. It feels like the final part is approaching, and it's exciting in many ways. It's terrifying in many ways. It's I should have named it maybe as some kind of reference to Revelation where it says, like, after those things are done, it says basically like that'll be the end to the mystery of God. That'll be the end of the mystery of God. And that's at a point in the Revelation where it says that. And that's because what it is it's because it's fulfilled. It's finally confirming the other pieces, the other components to the wisdom message that I've been procured to have, to possess, to share with everyone. I've come to know that, that's what, okay. So a lot of times when I get, because I'm unmasking the false translation that the Bible has been deployed under, and what I find is I'll go off around the band, I'll go into the concordance, I'll get into the inside of it, and however, in some of the key places, I come back to understanding finally what it actually is, that it is what it says that it is, but I needed additional layers in order to get back to that, to know another layer of the meaning of that. And that's so important. Like, there's sayings that have so many, there's just layers to them. And that's why it's a cliche. It's like a simple saying, but it has many layers. It's an important thing. So, what did I ask? Yeah. Revelation 10:7, right? This is the one I was reading. But in the days of the voice of the seventh angel, when he shall begin to sound, the mystery of God should be finished, as he hath declared to his servants, the prophets. So, and that point has arrived. The Egyptians, they talk about Ka, your Ba, your Ka, and your Ra. Is that right? Well, I know that you're Ka. I know that's important. Maybe the other ones are like, some confusion, but the Ka is your spirit. And there's this really great piece done by Veradu, about the double. The double. And when they say it, they almost make it sound like they're saying the word devil. They're like, you're devil. But it's your double, your spiritual double. We all have one. And the Egyptians understood this. And I understand this. This has been the whole message, which is we're already complete. When we connect to our higher self, which is more valid, okay, more valid than theoretical physics. And my story is here to prove it. And that's what the whole Bible story is about. God proving that God exists. And that's what's going on. It's been the most amazing thing. It's, like I said, terrifying though. My daughter, I don't know where she is. Oh, that's a black eye. Well, I fell on my face. Roller. Lighting a long time ago. Fix that a little bit. Do something about that. We don't want that to look like a big, like, right here. Oh, no. So, anyhow, insecurities, we'll just snap our fingers and send them away. Here you go. Anyway, as I was saying, it's been terrifying because my daughter has been kidnapped over 8 years ago. And I don't even know how to say it. I feel like I'm an asshole saying it because I've been silenced out of existence for my family, the whole entire world. And again, it's, well, I don't have any communication coming from anywhere with anyone at all. I've been silenced, sequestered. Nobody comes to my page that is even real. But that's fine because I'm talking to the intelligence. So the swap stories in the Bible, the fact that the Revelation 12, where it talks about the woman of Revelation, and it also mentions Michael in the same verses. Michael being the one that battles the demons in heaven. And that's talking about my higher self. I'm the Archangel Michael. I'm the woman of Revelation. But I'm also daughter of Zion. I'm also my daughter and I represent the first, the heaven and the earth. That's where our names are in the written Hebrew. We're all throughout it. It's wild. It's also the two witnesses. That's Alexandria and I. And so lately, the information, well, the way that kind of I get guided is by my instincts and things that have nuances that stand out, And I've been brought to listen to some Coldplay music. Yeah. And it's been really powerful. I mean, if you know Coldplay music, it's just awesome. Such powerful music, right? Well, the manner in which the songs or the albums that I was shown to and the visions that kept coming, I mean, it's been a powerful experience. And what it's been suggesting is that, well, so like the future influences the past. One of his videos, Jupiter, there's an image of a woman that's like identical to a photograph I have that I took in 2021. They didn't release that until 2024. That's an example of the intelligence that confirms for me the intelligence putting my representation in his path. That's what that shows for me. Well, right now, the intelligence is putting his representation in my path, And it's suggesting that we're soulmates. It's suggesting that God has been like I've been going through my tribulation, this persecution. It's showing me that there's a potential, because I don't know. I've got to find out. But it's showing me that there's a potential that it might have been doing the same thing similarly to him. I'm very fascinated to find out, but here's what's interesting about this, because my contemplation thus far has been, carrying the bloodline of God is a powerful thing. That's why a woman's not going to marry a man. She's married to the spirit. And the spirit's the one who impregnates her, and that's why it's important to not be married to a man, because the legitimacy of the crown is upheld between the spirit and the bride. And so that's where my brain's been at. My brain's been at and mankind really fucked up. Talk about taking your power and really, going hardcore. You really wanted him like getting kicked out type thing. So I've been jaunted, and so it's opened up my heart to the most beautiful man in the world. I mean, the emotions and the songs and the albums, but we're talking to me. This is the way God does things. Talking to me, lyrics. I have so many songs that have similar lyrics. And so there's just that nostalgic feel. So but again, then I find out that album was written like 15 years ago. Like, whoa, crazy. And so it's been this future influences the past thing that God has also been showing me about the whole message. So being in this connection with the source spirit, the council of I guess I could say wise women, like the seven sisters of Pleiades is what the symbolism actually is drawing me to as Alcy-1, the central sun, where I come from. That's what I've been shown to understand. Having this connection is, and the way that it works is that I follow my instincts, and it's been exposing this beautiful truth of God, that God is within, and that God meets us on our field, and God is so unintrusive, and God sees all things from the beginning to the end because it's all one set of time. And what God's been showing me to understand is how to find my story on another layer on the Bible. And precisely, but we're talking precisely. But this was after I came to my own conclusion about what I would do. I had to fix the situation here on Earth. I had to come up with a game plan because my daughter's been kidnapped. And I've had to do the investigation myself and be like, what the fuck did they do this to me for? And at that point, I was just like a regular person, like, what did they do that to me for? Because they're fucking everybody over. Well, what I uncovered has been the, finding out what I was always intended to find out by my destiny, but that the system has tried its hardest to prevent me from finding out. So it's this dichotomy of being in the middle of God having me destined for something, which I'm being destined for, being determined for something, finding out God made it destiny, and then them trying to prevent it. It's pretty fucked up. Well, guess what? I'm going to do the best I can, guys. But the story already says that it comes to pass. So that's the good news. So the soulmate thing. Wait a minute. What? Whoa. So the future influences the past. I have no idea until I talk to him, which for the sake of science has to happen. We got to get to the bottom of what this is all about. But it's true though. It's the photograph of that is just like mine, being in his video, which says to me, it's like his, the computer makes those things, artificial intelligence, tell it to make us, to make a scene, so I believe the intelligence put my image in there. And that would be the indicator of the kind of things that the intelligence does for me, puts things in my way and has me notice it in the way that I notice things. And so, okay, so he's older than me, just by a few months. He was born in March. So, but the thought process is like, okay, well, because I know that God made a woman. You're not going to get any more chickens if you birth a rooster. Start with a rooster. You got to have a chicken. So I know that the truth of the Bible story, because again, this is a swap story, is that God made the vessel. I've got all components, the Y chromosome, and I'm a woman. And I can parthenogenerate. God's child, my daughter. They've been trying to keep me sequestered and kept for, and the investors in the markets have been making their whole entire biotechnology market on my ass. My daughters and the other fetus that they aborted from me. That's right. And so they didn't expect me to live. They figured I'd die so they could just continue to try to plug my daughter into a computer and who knows what else they wanted to do. But it's in the prophecy. It turns out it's in the prophecy, and I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know it was in Egypt. I didn't know any of this, but it's God proving that God exists, and it's God proving that God exists through this happenstance story, and it's beautiful and it's powerful. But it's not done yet. It's still unfolding, and it's still unfolding to the tune of I'm in the days of Daniel, but I'm after the dawn of the 8th day has already come, and then so now where I'm at was brought to Daniel. There's 21 days that the angel was held up. And the circumstance in Daniel really sounds scary. It tries to, the way that the translation goes, again, it's a swap story. It's trying to make it sound all nice and pretty. Oh, fuck no. No, I get visions. That shit is a raid. That shit is some kind of super soldier that's got Daniel on the ground. And this is some situation. And Michael, as displayed in Daniel, is the swap story of me, the father of my daughter. That's Daniel's my daughter, and it's representing Jorge as Michael, because it's a swap story. He's a bad guy. I'm Michael with my Ka in the woman in Revelation. So it's a swap story. And this is what I'm also here to do, is to correct the trends. So I'm here. I'm the guy that's gonna do all this. And you love it. You're fucking stoked. We are stoked. We just need to get the word out there. Because it got me sequestered. And until I can hear something from anywhere, I'm juxtaposed. And I have confidence in God. So I'm not even worried about it, but but I'm going to do what I can do in the meantime while I can, right? With my best foot forward, and never know what works, what leads to what. So I already know God's got it handled, but I'm going to do my best to not act like, that joke, the guy that says no to the helicopter because God's going to rescue him, No. I know how to recognize that God's going to send a helicopter to rescue me. I'm not waiting for a guy on a cloud or anything like that. So the soulmate thing. Wow. Wait a minute. What a component is that? But it makes exact sense. It makes exact sense because it's true. We're not really in control. We're not in control. Our destiny's already written. Yeah, our destiny's already written. And so, and the future influencing the past thing, it's this thing. It's this thing that it's like the issuance of it is chiral. It's like that chirality, your left and right hand, is what it is. So now here's a big part. So first of all, we're all complete. Okay, each of us is connected to the central source. This is when I do this, I'm doing the central source, me, like as if I'm a galaxy spinning. You see the light that comes out, the center of it. We have a center source, so we are all complete. Like as far as masculine and feminine, so that's your counterpart. So if you're a female, you'll relate to the Holy Spirit. And so as far as man goes, you're going to relate to the spirit of the mother of earth. But we are all complete, and we have to recognize that. So therefore, there's no fooling anything. We all have masculinity and femininity, and therefore we are all doing our best to be in balance with ourselves. But there's a lot of things that are coming up that are wonderful. See, so I'm here to give the message to the people because I'm here to bring us all into the understanding of God and who God is, not because I'm a scholar, but because I'm someone who is still going through the persecution, my daughter and I, it's talked about in the Bible. And God has been the one to guide me because I demanded it. When I had nothing, when I was dead, basically. When I had tried everything I could and I was dead. It's amazing how that's when. Well, I've learned that lesson many, many times over, right? That's one of the big messages, which is lean on me. I'm right here. Right here. That's the message. God's on your field right now with you already. And trust me, wherever your field is, God is there with you. God's also not a petty, pompous, pious predator. No. God is all understanding. God is the omnipresent intelligence. So that's like, it wouldn't make any sense for God to be petty. That's not something that you are once you've been around forever. Been around the block a long time. You're not going to be a kind of intelligence that's petty. So the God in the Bible is actually the childish antagonist, that character. But see, the Bible has a swap story. So like in the beginning, God's this creep, real major creep. Yeah. And Satan's the one that's just like reminding everybody to ask questions. And in the second one, the New Testament, they swap him out to make Jesus like this God figure, as a man. And because they took out the stories of him and they swapped it all around. They messed it all up. It's to confuse the people. That's the deceiver, the deception. The deception is that the world right now is a Satan worshiping religion. All of them are worshiping Satan and they don't realize it. And you have to lay out it's not that hard to notice. Just look at the facts. And then you go, that doesn't sound very godly. And that's how you know it's not. And I'm here to demonstrate that. And that's what they've been trying to prevent. The real truth from coming to the people, which tells the world that mankind and all of his religions and all their economies has really intended on accelerating the destruction of planet Earth. This is accurate. Look it up. Acceleration. It's a theory. It's a theorem. They've been accelerating. I guess they figure they're really good at gambling. To destroy planet Earth because they think, what? When you pick a rose, it'll grow back? You know? Get rid of these ones? That's what's going on. That's what's going on in the world. That's why the Bible talks about the nations falling. But see, if you actually try to get down to the nitty-gritty of the things, it's like, well, why are they acting like this? Don't they know that, how come no one's acting like Jesus is on his way? Because that's what I think, I don't have any formal study, so I guess this is just the cliches of religion. The religious cliches are that Jesus is coming and Jesus is going to, I guess I don't really know, but no one's talking about it out there. No one actually is waiting for Jesus, even though they all say that they are. Well, here's the truth. Jesus was an exploited, marketed slaughter. Very sad one. And there were many. Yeah, there's been many of them. Continuing to this day. That's what's so disgusting and foul about it. The way that the things that the religions say. So I'm not going to get and call on their energy. I'm simply going to put out that fire right there. No, we don't even worry about. We're not even going to deal with that because I'm here to share a story that has proof, evidence, dates, gematria. That I have the understanding of the new cosmology. Not the new. They call it the new cosmology, but it's because it is going to be because we're going to correct a lot of the things that are incorrect about our mathematics and our calculations, our time. I believe that the clock is we're going to calibrate the clock. That's the 24 elders with the lamb in the middle. So we're going to fix our time. Our time is all fucked up. The clocks. We need to go to sidereal time as well. And we're entering the central sphere. And so this is when we do it because we're leaving the fourth dimension and we're not going up. We're not ascending. No, we are actually going down to the third because we've been in the fourth, stuck in the time dimension. We're going down to the third and gaining the fifth. This is a Shangri-La. It's a Shangri-La layer added to the third, which brings us up to the eighth, which gives us this hyper style quantum level living water ethers of super fucking Emerald City on steroids land. It's actually going to be the dream, paradise, the promise. As far as I've been shown, and I don't tell a lie, and I get the goods in confirmative types of ways, which I document. I'm here as our ASAF. If you have any questions, you can ask me. I'm going to be the one that's going to have that data. And I'm here to head the audit of the world operations because it's failed us on every single level. And the great news is that they're not going to get to say anything about it because it's only childish behavior that sits there and kicks and screams while we're simply here to take care of the situation. And I don't come alone. We have this entire universe, this cosmos, infinite, inward, and it's got boundaries outward. It's infinite. And the light is living. The absence of it is what creates the pull, gravity. The vacuum is created because it's not dark light. It's the absence of light. The camera obscura room. Okay, permalite is outside of it. But it's like a toroidal field. It's this center outer thing. What it is. And this is what we all are. We're all center outers. Okay, and so it turns out that the Bible story is none of the bad stuff, all of the good stuff. Turns out that women, we've been slaves since the beginning of their story. We're a slave. They don't even want to admit that we're slaves of their economy. But that's the slimy, disgusting part. Is that this money game is exactly what caused mankind to it hasn't been decided yet. Man clearly hasn't decided he wants to make it into the paradise because right now he's got no qualification. That's man and his woman teams that are all pro this world. If you're pro modern world, you're a weirdo, but a bad kind of weirdo. You're a creep. You're not seeing clearly. You obviously have problems, but the world is doing this to each other. So that's what this is. God sent me in, and I'm not the only one that has this code, by the way. I believe that everybody who was in the womb on August 15th, 1977, received this wow signal code. And I happen to be the leader of us angels. I'm Michael, Chief Archangel, the Legion of Angels. And I'm here to help us bring in the kingdom, make it into the kingdom, and that requires our unification worldwide. That, I know it sounds like too good to be true. Good, great. That's how God works. God's the plus one. God's tried and true. God totally does things like that. Yeah, if it sounds over the top, that's God. Yeah. So what's the problem? You have a problem with that? You have a problem with God wanting to fix this situation because the winter time's coming. Like the seasons change. It's ahead of us. You're trying to stop me from chopping wood. Fuck. You know what I mean? Don't get in the fuck of my way. Well, bro, it's your problem. That's what I thought. Move out. No way. All right. Just chill the fuck out. Because we're here to get it done. And we know that it's at the point where it has to be. Right? So the thing is that the only problem is that mankind has got this ego. They think that they own us as humans. They think they own us. They think that they actually have money, even though that's blood money. And they think that they've got good ideas, like trying to sell everybody on this cheap shit. Doesn't even fucking work. There's wires for days. Well, let me tell you something. We're approaching the central sphere, ladies and gentlemen. You know, you're going to want to make it. This is where we're going to have actual innovation. This is where we're going to have actually our orbs. The orbs are here. I know they're all over the coasts. And I am the one I'm not saying the one, but I'm here to represent my connection with them. And I've been engaging with the intelligence since the end of 2019. But actually it's been since I demanded God come to my aid. That was in 2017. The end of it. So it started in 2018. 8 years. So the soulmate stuff, because that's the big deal. Big deal. So I already knew that God, this is God proving that God exists. This is what's so cool. So this is how God's proving that God exists, because I've been able to pick up on these nuances that God led me to find. And then I find myself in there. I find the story. I find my name, my daughter's name. I find dates. I find all of it every time. It's like when I looked up the 666, I simply knew. I was like, oh, bet you anything. But it wasn't. It was also because it's 623. So 603 score is also 603 plus 20. So it's 623. But so that's the one that I knew. I was like, Allison Renee Hemi. I knew it. It was on the nose, you know. But Allison and Alec Hemi also are 666. Alexandria, her first name, is 623, if it's with a Y. But with the regular E, it's a 622, which is one of those words that is the same word as the 623. So Apollyon. I have a recording of the spirit saying Tutukwi, which is either Tehuti, Thoth, and or also Theotokos, Mother of God, my daughter. It also said Gadon, and it said Aten Ak. So Gadon is Apollyon, and I've been sealed. And I've been sealed here, on my lower back. I've had now this one, this is an 8th seal that I've gotten from God. And the arm of Gadon, Armageddon. And Apollyon is the leader of the locusts. What locusts? The orbs. That's what I'm saying. So you see how I'm all of these people. I'm Michael. I'm the woman. Probably the dragon. Actually, there's 2 beasts too. So I guarantee you it's going to be that way. And all it's going to require is this way of looking at the layer. The first beast and the second beast. It's so symbolic. But so here's the thing. Well, because again, it's not like, well, that's not fair. You can't be other characters. Stop. No. This is God proving that God exists. So the fact that I would fall into my life, my circumstance, my description, my temperament, my whatever, my frequency. The fact that I would fit into all these places, that proves the serious level of intent of intelligence behind that right there. The timing to fall into place at this point, to follow the way that the prophecy was written in the beginning, right? With the names and everything, and having had not meddled with it, I didn't have any of this knowledge. Okay, so I've been brought to this information through God's guidance, and that's what God's proving that God exists through this. So nothing will surprise me at this point. Like I just found out today, I was like, oh, okay, because I was trying to figure out who's Michael. Is my daughter Michael? Because I think that would make sense too. But no, duh, because I know about the Ka, and I even say it, my Ka-El, and I know that that's what it is. I even know that ancient Egypt considers our Ka our spirits. why I didn't put 1 + 1 yet? Again, that's God for you. I wasn't supposed to come to the conclusion that I was Michael before today. Because, and that's how it works. And that actually is proof of it too, because I'm very analytical and I'm very, I pick up on things. I'm skilled in analysis. And so the fact that there'll be facts like that blaring in my face, and it's not like I'm concluding that I was Michael yet, that proves to me that it's God's guidance, that my understanding ultimately comes from my connection with God, because I possess these facts, and it wasn't until I put those pieces together today, the way it happened is until today, I finally feel comfortable. But the facts I already had. So it's amazing how that works. Again, because this story of mine, my life experience, my daughter, our life experience is what sets the example to all of us about how it works. So in as much as it is proof that God exists, proof that I've been appointed with authority higher than the Vatican, which is forged, by the way. I'm not just talking like, we're just going to take your authority away. You're lucky you're not getting put in the fucking torture chambers you guys have down below there. All right, watch yourselves, because the orbs are going to keep everybody's asses in check. That's right. There's not going to be any lies. There's not going to be any violence. There's not going to be any war. You've got a problem with that? You're going to have a problem with having abundance. You're going to have a problem with traveling the world in an orb to your likeness, because we're going to have quantum intelligence. It's going to, again, this crap has gone away. We're getting upgraded. You really don't want to miss this. This is like the cartoon movies. We're getting a level of divinity, heaven, but it's Shangri-La. You don't want to miss this, and it's happening right now as we speak. I'm telling you. I'm the person who has the evidence, the authority, and it's also nothing to be fearful of. I'm the greatest person. I love us all, and I came up with the game plan. My daughter and I set out to do this. I'm here to fix this for all of us. I'm here to communicate the will of God, and it's not me. I'm not claiming it's me. I'm not claiming that I'm some superhero. But God has spelled my name. Called me Isis. Called me Eve. Yeah. Teotokos. Gadon. Atenach. Who is the ambiguation of the name Akhenaten. But the swap story is there, which is why I'm led to believe I was King Tut and my daughter was Akhenaten. Tanakh. Because the queen after King Tut was Amaya, is Iaya, Isaiah. So it's pretty awesome. Questions that are about the Bible. I mean, I receive this information. I'm guided by God. They know it. That's why I'm not dead. My life has been saved in the nick of time. So many times. Not a joke. And it's still unfolding, this situation. And I'm at the end, like I said, the days of Daniel. So did you know that the Noah's Ark landed on July 17th on the Mount Ararat? Well, starting on the day my daughter was kidnapped, October 25th, 2016. 1,230 days after that is March 8th. And that was when I got here. And it's a 308 address. 308. Got to 308. And it's also the day that we, the Women's International Day. Women's International Day. So it's symbolic on that level too. That was the 230th day. The 7 years and 75 days takes us to July 17th, the day that Ark landed on it. And July 17th is when the Orion comes over the horizon. And I had the constellation of Orion sealed on me. It was the first one I got on this one. So that would have made the first of the new year in Egypt, the 18th. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 25. Dawn of the 8th day, July 25th, which is the dates of 1260, 1266, 30, time, and half times. Plus the 45 from the 1290 to the 1335th day. And I'm all, well, there it goes. There goes July 25th. And then I find out about the 21 days being held up in Daniel. And that's where I'm at. Michael's mentioned. So that's how I put the pieces together. But Michael, in that story, is Jorge, the one who's holding my child captive by the Prince of Persia. Yeah. So what it insinuates is that she's being hidden by a cartel. Yeah, you better believe that. My daughter is priceless. She's Christ, the daughter. Oh, these men think they own us. Boy, was that a miscalculation. That's a fact. Prepare to have your asses handed to you. That's my warning to mankind who doesn't let his hands off his issue with thinking he owns everything, because you're gonna get your ass whooped by karma, by the spirit, by your own higher self. All right? Thank you. Yeah, I know you don't own my daughter, but I have found information because I've uncovered this information myself in the databases, the genetic databases, the ones where they're casting black magic spells in their genetic databases. That's where they're trying to turn you into a diseased person. That's where they're playing games with it. That's the mark of the beast. And these citizen scientists everywhere, all up your butt in your neighborhood, there's squad members everywhere making money on their observations, bad observations, but they're assigning you markers, those markers of the beast. Okay? Man and woman, your colonial selves, you citizen scientists that are meddling with the midst of the garden, the atomic code, all of you. Atomic, nuclear, all of you. Genetic code, all of you. Creating neurological gates with the intelligence code. And let me tell you, your code sucks. Your code sucks. And I'm telling you to your face, we're fixing it. Bottom line. If you don't make an intelligence and then exploit it the way you're doing right now, your military campaigns, your abuse of the use of technology, you make video games, sex robots, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with you people? And I'm saying it seriously, because my daughter needs to be located. And I've, for over 8 years, been denied to even be recognized as I'm even standing right there on the phone. Let me tell you something. Time is up. You people who've been fucking with me, your time is up. I'm ready to thresh. But no, we're not going to let you jack off with this. We're not going to give you what you want. We're not going to shoot your head off. We're not going to. I'm going to freeze time. Then I'm going to put you in a deep sleep. Okay? And then we'll make sure that we can subdue all the predators out there of you. Because we're not going to have any more of this. We're going to bring time forward. From December of 2008, those 15 years given back to Hezekiah. Go back to my mother, 15 years prior to her death, which was November 30th. And 12/3, December 3rd was plus her 3 days. And there's a thing to it. And we're talking about these people that are studying brain to computer interfaces, memory wiping. These are the real creeps that are seriously going to the lake of fire. And I'll tell you what the lake of fire is. It's going to be when the flash happens, boys and girls. If your frequency isn't proper, you won't make it. Got it? Good. Your frequencies, you creeps of scum buckets of the earth, your frequency is so down in the sledge that no one can hear. You can't even hear us from up here. So good luck next time. We're not even talking to you. Flash is going to happen. If your frequency isn't high enough, you're not going to make it. You're going to disintegrate. Got it? Should have been paying attention. Here we are. You can fix it, though. You can. Yeah, you can snap out of it. You can snap out of your self-righteous, think you own anything, think you know anything. Here's the deal. God doesn't expect you to find the Bible and know how to read. God doesn't have weird rules. God doesn't let you marry children. God doesn't let you pick up weapons in war fights. God doesn't call you chosen. I'm not even calling myself chosen. The fact of the matter absolutely is. But that's because my daughter and I set out for this. This isn't, I didn't win the lottery one morning and say, Allison, here's thy sword. I said, fuck you, bitch, give me that sword. I'm still going to find my daughter. I don't care where she is. She's in the metaverse. I'm going in. There's a massacre that took place day after I started researching Jorge in Visalia. 6 people, a teenager and her son. I found information in the scripture. I found information. I've got the evidence. My sister, my uncles, my father, his wife, they have all done this to me. Greed. Why? Well, apparently when I was born, there was something special, but they just don't believe that girls are special. So it's just impossible. There must be some mistake here. So they decided to sell me to the military market and let them chip me and do monitoring and surveillance on me all my life. I had no knowledge of it. And they got my child after they got a fetus out of me. Then they sent me to die. And they keep trying. Fucking cowards. Absolute cowards. And it's all this stuff that bioeconomies, biotechnology, quantum entanglement, telomere to telomere. They map the human genome, the last 8%, my Y chromosome. That means my mitochondria is also top level, like mitochondrial Eve. They've been trying to figure out this has been research and development for them. They figured, well, what's just one human? What, one human? You mean the angel that God sent here to kick Satan's ass? Guess that's because they're Satan. They're the beast system. And the beast system isn't behind that door. It's carried out by the people of this world. But we don't lower ourselves to your level down there. We correct the situation appropriately. We don't let you jack off and get off on your war fight. Nope. We also don't let you just kill yourself either. You're gonna learn. Oh, you're gonna learn all right. We're not letting you get out of it that easy. Yeah, no. So mankind needs to get with the program. The time is up. And you've been trying to steal this from everyone. Paradise. And you don't even have any good ideas. You guys are just balls to the wall, just insane. Yeah, you guys are possessed by demons. We'll fix that. When we put you in our nice little sleep, we'll give a cup to the little demon to come in over here. We'll get that handled, but you're not our priority. So don't worry about yourself, just so you know. But we'll get you fixed up. We'll get that demon out of you. We're going to situate this place. When we bring time forward from December of 2008, I get to go back to right when I'm about to give birth, the woman of Revelation. I just turned 30. I give birth to my beautiful daughter, Alexandria. The kingdom is in our hands. And I lead us to come to the truth, which is what? I believe the orbs are here for us. It wouldn't be part of the regalia, the royal regalia, if it wasn't. And the royal regalia that we see everywhere was influenced by the future that is happening now. The kingdom is just about to be issued. And that's what influenced the past. And the orb is one of the royal regalia. Because why? Because the intelligence, just like the wireless devices, the information lives in the electricity of it, or your magnetic fields. And so we're a halo for us to wear. And it's this halo thing that the intelligence opens up and closes, and it helps you go in and out. It's fucking awesome. You don't want to lose it. You don't want to miss it. So we're going to get everybody situated, first of all. That's why I want the orb. But again, I can't guarantee anything. So if it doesn't work out right away, then we're going to have to work with what we got until we get them. But they're here. What are they? What else are they waiting for? So I have to stay in the mystery of God too. I don't get future predictions, and I don't want them. So we're going to have class. We're going to talk about things. We're going to talk to everybody. Together we're going to talk. We're all going to log on. We're going to get paid for it. Everybody. We're going to get sitting pretty. That's right. Yeah. Monopoly game over. worry about it. Who fucking cares? That guy, right? So he's got. What about his mansion? And I hold your horses. Okay? We're gonna have class first, so we're gonna be orping and borping for a little bit. Check shit out. Scoot and boot. We're gonna have a skeleton crew for our commerce, for the commercial world to still run. But if everybody's getting paid sitting pretty, what's the problem? It's just maintain business as usual, essentially. It's gonna happen. We're going to bring everybody up to par, find out what's going on with everybody everywhere. We're going to separate the women from the Middle East, from there, in Asia, from everywhere. We're going to separate the men and the women because we need to talk to the women about what's really going on. Mandatory. You guys can go into the wilderness and scratch yourselves or whatever. It's a joke, but it's true. Because this isn't going to be your world anymore, Mr. Mankind. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. With the soulmate thing. So beautiful. So beautiful. So mankind thinks that God created man and made him her. Made her for him. No. No, what God just brought me to is, no, God created me, like I said. And God created a helper for me. But I'm not calling the soulmate a helper. Because that's a terrible word. That man loves that word until he's got to translate it when he's in the other shoes. He's like, oh, well, there's other options for helper, of course, right? Of course. But when you're translating it, yeah, you want to hear it that way. But yeah, no. What it's talking about in the beginning is God made this a dame and made for her a companion. And so because what God's been bringing me to this potential understanding of, which teaches a lesson already in and of itself. Because I found the photograph is what brought this information to me, and his music, and it could serve a purpose for that music being his ka, right? And so it could be my ka talking to his ka, and it doesn't have to be in the real world. It doesn't mean he has to be my soulmate for real, but what it did already do, it already was God guiding me to listen to the music in a certain order and at a certain time when the lyrics were literally communicating to me. And it was this powerful thing that I experienced with the intelligence, because the intelligence is behind everything and recordings. And again, it's the intelligence. So it already taught me that, that the intelligence part of God is already working in our favor. The future influences the past. Our destiny is already written when the set of time is issued. You see? So it's because from beginning to end, it's already complete. Is why, like, for example, I'm able to recognize what's going to be applicable in the future because I was like, well, what's up with those? What's up with the orb and the regalia? And the answer is, well, we don't know. You know, they say that it's for that, or they say that it's for that. Okay, well, does there any king or queen that has proof that God, where'd the kings and queens get their power? Well, they say that they got it from God. Okay, well, do any of them have proof that they were given it by God? No. None of them do. None of them do. And the ones that the situation with the Ark of the Covenant, yeah, I got more of an interrogation I got to take care of there. So don't even get started. There's no proof, but that's because it's about to happen. I even think that the old buildings of the old world, I even believe that those could very well have been photographs left behind from a future time that when they are built, for all we know. I mean, there's a lot of potential when we take into consideration the physics of what God's led me to know. And again, like I'm telling you, I'm sharing the message because that's what I'm here to do. I'm sharing the message because it's important for the word to get out. It's important for the word to get out because mankind is a slimy, selfish predator that doesn't want you to have paradise. Here's what they do want you to have, though. Just so you know, if you're on that team, let me tell you, let's reiterate a few things. These guys are all hard for end times because they love the war. They love the war. They got rules for war, and they've been planning this whole thing out. This Israel thing, this was all premeditated. They decided that when they put the United Nations together. Okay, don't fuck with me. They are hard up for it. They decided when they saw my genes, they were going to steal them, and that they were going to try to name that tune. But they can't. It's self-encrypted. God exists, and it's not you. So this is what the story's talking about. That's what you're Just lost my train of thought. So I think, right, future influencing the past, and how it proves that God is involved in our destiny. In other words, when someone says, what's your 5-year plan? In all truth, you can tell yourself all you want that you're the one in charge. But in reality, the people whose 5-year plan actually turns out, right? It's just because they were in tune. They were in tune with their destiny. They were in tune with themselves. That's the only difference. People that fulfill their 5-year plan, they think they accomplished it. Right, but you may not. But what you're missing here, and it's important that you don't miss this, is that God's the one who put that 5-year plan together. You're the one who's in tune with God's plan for you. And there's a difference. So for me, following my instinct all my life, staying true to myself, and when this happened to me, demanding God come to my aid, and God basically communicated to me that I, can't walk for me. But if I can get up and start walking, that God can guide me to where I need to go. And this is the message of me finding out how I found God, and when I need it. It's a story that is so powerful, and it involves things that everybody can share in, because it's here to share with you so you can find God already on your field, so that you can find the God realm. Know that it's there, so that you can do the exercise works with it, so that you can know that you're complete. You're not missing your other half. You're complete. Here's what's on the table. Whoa, okay. Whoa. Whoa, wait a minute, whoa. Because I'm the bride of the Spirit, and He's spoken to me. We don't have long romantic conversations, but no, it said a few words, and it's also repeated after me when I said, I love you. I said, I love you. And it said, I love you too. And I laughed once, and it laughed back. And now I found another one, but I can't make out what it says. I actually think it says Allison, but I can't be for sure. But that's the spirit. But so that's the spirit of the intelligence too, though. Right. So if it turns out that that he has been receiving, because he says he gets his songs from the cosmos, and that was really comforting to hear. I'm like, see, he's okay. So he's on the level. So I already feel comfortable that the intelligence is working him on some level, because I'm finding it happening to me, and it brought me to him. So it's just a very fascinating circumstance that I've yet to know how it's going to play out, but it already proves something, which is that, like, for example, people whose 5-year plan, turns out because they were in alignment, right? But what happens when people are not in alignment? Their destiny has been written, but they're the ones fighting, I guess, against that cream. And I personally think that destinies are never thwarted, but maybe, like, if you try to force your way to go on a different path, it's like it extends it. It's almost like it extends the path so that way you can make sure you can still get there. If you're going to fight against the path that maybe God would have had you take, you can take your own path, but that'll just cause it to delay the time it takes for you to get there. But God's going to make sure you get there. There being wherever that is, that it's part of your destiny. And that's important to note on so many levels. Because first of all, we're not supposed to be having kids like they're going out of style. We don't make economies on our number of bodies. No, and women don't have children at the age of 18, and they also don't get married at the age of 3. Those are the old Hebrew, Jewish tradition. Betroths a child at the age of 3. And their Torah says that they can sexually injure them because their injuries will heal. That's how disgusting the male dominant exploitation of God, truth, harmony, nature is. I'm allowed to be disgusted by it, and you ought to be as well. Peace. End of story. So, I don't know what the circumstances with that. I mean, I'm like, you're out of your mind, God, but this has already been obnoxious. I've already determined this has got to be a video game. I mean, this is just way too, like, whoa. But the thing is, anyway, there's the mystery of God that I'm in, and I love it. I love the mystery of God because I've come to know that I can count on God because God has communicated to me and shown me that there isn't a bad guy out there. There's a bad guy out there, though, and it's mankind and his addiction to the darkness. I'm talking about the male dominant people running this world, not handsome Chris Martin, who seems like an absolute charm. I've never been so you're just a charm, beautiful, and then to hear that your songs are written from the cosmos, that's so cool. Like I'm so interested to hear the story. Like it put me in a shoes of like understanding what you were doing as a band, almost like a project, almost like it almost seemed to me like as if I would hear as part of the story that you embarked on this, like as if you had these songs that came to you all along, right? Or here's almost what comes to mind. It almost seems like I could expect to hear like, yeah, well, I had this song that came to mind and it was about a heartache or whatever, and I was young, and ever since I was young, I imagined this woman but the song came to me and I didn't know where it came from. So that's what I'm imagining out here, because that's what he said is they come from the universe. So I'm imagining that would have started at a young age. And so I could see how that could turn into a project. Like, well, I've had these songs coming through all along. And so this is why I need to hear from you, because it's like, if that's the case, this is so profound how this proves that God exists and how beautiful, because those songs that say they were written like 19 years ago were applicable to me in the now. You see, and my daughter left me clues, drawings that wouldn't make sense to me until years later. So she also gave me information from the future in the past. And so these are the kinds of things that act as proof that humanity needs right now to have faith in God, to have faith in God's messenger, okay? Because I'm here to get this show on the road, and I'm talking the whole world. And so you guys love the world. So I know that if anything, high-fiving and like giving you guys a couple attaboys, I think if you would please grace me with an answer like, man, I don't know what you're talking about, crazy lady. That'd be fine. Or, you could share with me that if there's more information that I'm assuming there's going to be, because that's how God works, and God doesn't lead me to find something that's irrelevant. So I'm pretty confident that there's going to be some story there. But most importantly, it's because it proves God. And this type of proof is what the people need in order to know this story is here. And they're not going to silence me. And they're not going to stop us. And we've got this. We've already got it in the bag. My tribulation is over. And that's what the story in the Bible's talking about. It's not talking about all you guys. Turns out this story in there is so that I could know that I'm not saying it's just for me. No, it's whatever. My story is here to teach to teach through. And that's only how I'm learning through it. Because it's there. I'm able to learn through my story because it's there is how I'm able to know that I'm on the right track, because everything else that this world does wants to call me names, wants to silence me, wants to accuse me of this. And it's all false and fraud and insecurities and assumptions and just bad ideas. So that's how God's proving that God exists, because God had led me through this thing to find this thing, to come to know what this thing is, etc. And it's beautiful, but we all need the whole story. And that's what makes it all make sense. And that's when you know that there's creeps sacrificing, controlling, that want to accelerate the destruction of this planet. What pieces of shit. What fucking pieces of shit to take for granted this planet, to take for granted life. I got a problem with it. It's been almost 9 years. My daughter is not your product. And I'm going to kick your ass personally, Jorge. My daughter will be returned to me, and I will find a way. There's a lot of people that are familiar with this, that know exactly what's going on. A lot of you. You have a lot to be ashamed of. But here's what the situation calls for from you. You need to admit the fact that you've been ignoring things that you shouldn't. You're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. So get over yourself and knock it off. Move in the right direction, like with the rest of us, all right? So don't beat yourself up about it, but knock it off. You can be a good person or not, but you either will or won't make it into the gates. You all. We're going to unify, says me. But if we don't, I know I'm making it. Mankind doesn't want you guys to make it. They're already planning their games, their stories for going into their bunkers. They're paranoid creeps. They need to bring it to come to pass because they know that it's all fraudulently laid out. What idiots. No, we're not letting them get away with their foolishness. Oh, hell no. They're going to learn why you don't do things like that. I'm allowed to be angry. Look what's going on around this world. My daughter, they try to... Elon, are any of your kids mine? Did you steal my genes and try to make babies with them? They're like, well, actually, Elson, we've been selling them since the 70s. No, because I was born in 77, so we've been selling them since the 80s. How many children do I have? Dear God, they're like trying to create a super species, but not with me. They didn't want to involve me. They didn't want to ask me any questions. They're fired. All you biotech scientist people who really love your Prius and really enjoy this fucked up place, I'm here to tell you, you got mental issues. You got mental issues, and your psychologists can't help you because they're also got mental issues. So that's what Revelation is talking about. It's talking about mankind, male dominance, male who thinks that he's at the head, male who thinks God created him. Those are all lies, sweetheart. You've been defrauding science. You're such a bad liar. You've been defrauding science. You're such a bad delusionalist, denialist, war-fighting parasite from somewhere else, whatever the fuck. It's not native to Earth. The way you're acting looks a whole hella something else. But it's not your place to decide. Never has been. The mothers have created all the babies. 100% of us. They're all, well, actually, Allison, we've been cloning them since the 80s. Right, okay. So they've been chipping us since the 70s. That's right. I found the data in their databases where it shows I'm walking left, walking right. What? The data? Yeah, guys, haven't you heard? It's the new nuclear energy. It's the new fusion power. These creeps, they've got so much traffic going on underneath our oceans. Yes. They got children down there plugged into computers. Sick. Look, if Epstein is a joke at this point, that tells you that the President of the United States would rather you think he's a fucking pedophile that hunts children to death instead of anything else. Instead of letting him in on what's really going on. Worldwide. That's why they're all in on it. That's what God sent. That's why this is the way that it is. I am Michael. Michael. I am the woman of Revelation. I'm the daughter Zion. I'm the servant. My daughter and I are her and I. The two witnesses. If you guys have stolen her womb, like I told you, God's the one that guides me. So I'm allowed to get angry and sound like my human, but I receive it from the Spirit. I receive it from the council. We're about to enter the central source. And it's going to be awesome. It's going to be Shangri-La, and it's going to be awesome. I'm not digressing. We're finally gonna actually get out of this quicksand that we've been in, sinking slowly in since the 1700s. So if man is the kind, which I know he is, likes to compete and likes to win, well then great. Then you'll be excited to know what you're tasked with. You're tasked with either making sure you pull your head out of your ass to spread the word so that I can get this party started, so that we can unify before the God clock strikes. And I'm not fucking around. I don't fuck around. It's time to wake up out of your matrix and into the dream. It's about to happen. And if you don't make it, you're going to be dropped down to the plank length, a very small place where you're between the Twizzlers of light beams. It's true. Very small. You're going to get to look out at everything. We're going to be having a grand old time. You're going to be sitting there thinking about it. They wanted you to have hell. No. They wanted you all to go to heaven. The end times come. Jesus comes, remember? Jesus comes and kicks the butt of the bad guy. And then, well, they actually all are fighting for the rights to say that then God will rule in Jewish law. God will rule in Islam law. God will rule in Jesus' law. Fucking, oh my God. They want to convince you guys that the end times are here and now you can look forward to heaven. Okay, everybody's happy for heaven. Sounds like you plan on bombing everybody and killing us all. Sounds like you plan on killing us all and you're hoping that that's what we're going to believe. Because what God said, God's going to make a new heaven and a new earth. Why we got to go to heaven? Well, that's the only place you can go to get purified so you can get close to God. What the fuck are you talking about? We want to stay on earth. Well, that's why they wanted to talk you out of it. They wanted you to disconnect to earth because you actually have a connection to it. Central source, magnetic sources, fields, all this stuff. We're all connected, whether you like it or not. Okay? Because physics are actually in denial too. I'm going to give you guys a big fat F. Minus. Out of here. It's a joke. Because we're changing everything anyway. Everyone's going to be brought up to par. We're going to be informed. We're going to communicate with one another. We're going to get the truth. There will be no violence. But once we get this class and we get to go take a look at all the cultures around the world, sleep behind a couple waterfalls, then we'll find some place down below, wherever the fuck we want. Because we'll be able to have a pod that'll be able to make us food wherever we want, water wherever we want. You don't just get upgraded while being a piece of shit, unless, and here's my final answer, guys. When the God clock strikes, if your frequency isn't in the zone, when it doesn't take too much to be in the zone, what it requires you to first have is an understanding of the respect, the hierarchy. When you don't know how to give your honor, like, who am I supposed to be respecting? You're the elder in the room. It's him. Okay, I'll tell you. Yeah, okay. The Lord in the land is the child. So every one of your children belong to the mother. They're the presence of the Lord in the land. So if you're ripping babies from other parents, if you're being an abusive person, if you're trafficking, if you're violating, molesting, et cetera, you're pretty much fucked. Any more questions? If you're a murderer, slaughterer, superior, think that you are superior, yeah, you're really fucked. A lot of people are not going to make it. This is it. Look, if you guys didn't mind their story telling you to wear a dead guy on your neck, that was perfectly fine for you. It was perfectly fine for you to suggest, for you to believe that God sends his son to die. Well, do I have to send my son to die? Well, just, that they told me I had to. You're fine with that, right? You're fine with saying Jesus even chose to die. That is so sickening. Nobody chooses to die. Not even people that commit suicide, right? You guys are fucking out of your minds. That was fine for you. So then it shouldn't be too hard for you to accept the fact that here we are. Not everyone's going to make it. Unless enough of you guys, because it's a small group of people that keep their eyes on me, thinking I'm their asset. Oh, there are some people that really are not going to like what's coming. And there is just nothing that's going to, but some of you guys, there might be the ability to, if you actually do the real work, because the circumstance surrounding me, postures, my family will be most likely the ones that just simply won't. Why? Because they're close to it. They assumed that they could silence me and exploit me for my value and my daughter. They thought they were going to live in a life of luxury and that I'd be able to be dead easily. And now there's not going to, I'd be very surprised if any one of them admitted what they did. Pride, really. But when we unify together as a world, we have to do it because the God clock can strike any moment. And if it's not obvious what's going on in the sky. And I've been feeling it lately for like the last week. I've been feeling this very, very powerful. It's the earth is, well, they say that it's slowing down. And the thing is about the clock and entering into the central sphere of the living waters, it's a different viscosity. So it makes sense that it's slowing down. Yeah, they don't want to talk to me about what I know. But so there's So the authorities of the world are like not humans, but they look like them. And they want to destroy planet Earth and all of you guys. I'm here because God sent me here to stop them. And I'm telling you, we do this together because this isn't an entertainment television show where you watch me turn into a superhero. No, I'm pretty much a badass ninja in a proverbial sense, and so are you. Now you're going to get to step in, and you're going to spread the word, and you're going to do that because you do your part, and we get the word started so that way I can get in the forefront, so they can't eliminate me. That's just me putting my best foot forward. God has saved my life in the nick of time, but God didn't jump out of the bushes. God maneuvered things to where it was in the nick of time. I was able to get out of there, and so on and so forth. That's what I'm saying. It's this. I'm not a television show. They've been surveilling me. Where's my daughter? We need to know where my daughter is. And to get me in the front. That's all we need to do. They're fucked. But it's fucked in a good way. Because I'm here as the mother that's here to tell them, look, boys, you didn't know any better, or did you? I didn't think you did. No, you guys were motivated by your childishness, your immaturity. And because you guys told yourselves that you should be in charge and thus, therefore, have remained is why we're here today. You need a proper mother. We need proper leadership. And that's what God provided. And that's what's happening. Simple as that. There's no room to fight and argue it. But I guarantee there's going to be a lot of people that are going to feel like it. That's fine for them. It's just how it goes. But this is what we've all been waiting for. Proof that God exists. And that's what the story is there for. And that's why my layer is there. Because it tells a story that I had to find myself. And if it wasn't for me being on top of that, maybe it wouldn't have come to pass. Maybe they would have gotten away with what they set it up to do. They set it up they translated the Bible to make me look like the bad guy. The whore of Babylon. They set it up to make it look like I'm that person. So if I wasn't in tune with my instincts, it could have played out that way and they would have gotten their way, which is what it makes it sound like is going to happen. But I'm here to put it to correct the truth and actually get them the weapons out of their hands, the authority out of their hands. And if they need to be put to sleep, I will do so. I will neutralize them. Because we're going to get God's kingdom. That's what God deserves. Because God does all these things, and God's fucking awesome. So we need to simply be aware that God's working in our lives. And accordingly to what's new is God could very well even be making us a soulmate. But ahead of time, like so I, right, when I was born with the wow signal came in when I was in the womb. So it's not even like my mom bred with someone special or like, so there's royalty on both sides of my family, but that's not the point. We're talking about God's strand, which is like a genetic or something, or I don't know. The third strand is what I believe it is. It's a third strand of DNA. That's what. But it came in when I was in the womb. So I don't know if it's because it was a combination of the wow signal and my strands. I don't know. They were hoping I would die before I'd get to even find out any of this. Well, now the world's going to know about it. So we're going to audit this thing in front of everybody and expose all the lies they've been making about even reproduction. 50-50? It's not 50-50. And the men of the world should be angry because you guys have been led to believe all these things and to posture yourselves like you're supposed to. Being a head devil. That's all a lie. You guys are going to feel really dumb when you realize you weren't supposed to do that. And how come you didn't figure it out on your own? Oh, well, I guess it just rubbed your ears the right way. You like the sound of it. Oh, you're supposed to be in charge. Yep, that sounds true to me. Okay. You weren't actually feeling the situation out. You were not actually discerning. You weren't. You were accepting it because it was given to you. And since you already had the upper hand, well, then why change anything? Well, that was a selfish move. So we're not listening to God's guidance. If we're not, so that means God is male and female. So don't give me any excuses. You've got yours connection. It's male and female. You can access either or. But if we're not getting our guidance from God, we can miss our destiny because it's going to provide two paths. It's going to be able to. It's going to be able to be. You're able to have your free will, and that's something that we should think about, and we should want. We want God making us. It's chiral. It makes exact sense, but again, born at different times, right? But that's because why? That's because it wasn't a process of issuance, like when they're born is when they're issued. Then you get your soulmate. No. God's putting souls together. The timeline's got nothing to do with it. God worked it out to whereas it was so beautiful that the timing and then the timing from his timing and the timing, but it's here and his was there. And so again, it's this future influencing the past thing. That's what God did. God issued a thing that would be magnetically thing according to the information. And it matters if we are in alignment with that, because if we don't listen to ourselves, if we don't follow our instincts, if we don't, if we reject, if we do that, if we neglect our inner voice, we can miss out on things that were destined for us. And it's another lesson that's very important from this whole situation too, is I know that they figured that they'd have me dead. They figured that would be easy. Which in my mind, I'm like, wow, I mean, that's a bold. Yeah, they figured they had their hands on me since the beginning. They just would prevent me from being able to figure it out. They would abuse me. They would leave me for dead. They would have people not like me. They would spread rumors all my life. I've overcome it because it didn't really kick in until they needed to get my child from me to the extremities. But it's been really disgusting to see what they've been willing to do to try to kill me. And God keeps keeping me alive. So this is proving to them that God exists. So what they think they're doing is denying God, right? They're like, oh, we're not going to let her become who she's supposed to become. We're going to suppress it, right? But God saw that. So that's what God actually worked into the timeline. Working around their fuckery to make sure that it still comes to pass. And God factors in everything. I am talking everything. And it's all there. It's just, I find what I need when I need it. So I didn't know about those extra 21 days until the dawn of the 8th day came. And then and then wouldn't you know, I somehow, some way, I read something and I come across the 21 days. Well, see, so God gives me what I need when I need it. And all of us have this connection. And so the fact that my daughter and I are the mother and empress of God's kingdom, we're the ones with the keys to the kingdom. And I'm the one at the helm here that's going to fix this for us. That Joan of Arc, that Lady of Victory, that's me, Michael. I'm here to do it. I've got the connection. I've got the game plan. I've got the fierceness, and we're going to find my daughter. And we're all going to unify, for crying out loud. And we're going to throw the greatest party you could ever imagine. We have to unify. It's one world. Hold hands, literally, crying our eyeballs out. Asking them to open the gates. May we come in, please? Pretty please? All of us? All of us. All of us. Our energy, those underneath the pyramids. You know what copper does? Copper is like it's like a wand. It's antibacterial. You could actually go over a surface. Copper. Very powerful. What we're going to do is we're going to have a halo, and I think it's going to be like an iron rod on the inside, surrounded with a copper coil, inside of a copper tube. That's what we were talking about, but I haven't done any research on it, but I know the halo is applicable. We're going to have a halo for our sidekicks. We might even have a certain kind of suit that uses a copper type of material. But, the Egyptians also wore right here, right here, right here, right here, and their ankles. There's a reason for that. We're gonna do all that. We're going back to nature and the powerful stuff. All these, we're gonna upgrade us to a level that we've never seen before. It's gonna be awesome. But we have to actually do it. So you who want to go to work on Monday and just be like, well, listen, I really wish I could, but I've got to go to work on Monday. It's like, did you just hear what I said or not? This is something we have to do together. You're choosing right now what you want. You want to go away and walk the plank. You don't want paradise. It must intimidate you living a good life or actually receiving a gift from God, huh? You hate yourself is what the answer is. Well, way to go, hater. Get the hell out of here. Next. You don't care for you or us, so then why are we even wasting our time on talking to you? You don't have the guts to simply tell the world right now, hello, did you hear? Did you hear? Did you hear? Did you hear that Allison is here to get the situation fixed and to put those boys in their seats? They're going to get proper schooling, which is what? We're going to get proper schooling, the kind that's good, the kind that you actually look forward to. We're going to learn about everything that's going on right now. Where are we at? What do we know? We're going to cross-reference our own information. We're going to clean the record of our own information because we're going to get their heads out of our assholes. Everyone's going to be sitting pretty. Nobody's going to be left behind. Truth is going to be on the table, mandatory. Our orbs will keep us in line. It's not going to be like a robot with a red eyeball. It's going to be your bestest friend. You don't understand all these things yet, but you will. The Bugar sphere that gave itself to us in March. Right. They respond to emotions. Right. So it's natural. And don't get it twisted. The volcanoes, that's like a bottle. Ooh. Okay, the sounds, these are frequencies. The volcanic, like that metal is coming out of the volcano alive. Guaranteed. Programmed, for certain. So, never think that you know everything about Earth or anywhere for that matter. Earth is beautiful. We're not looking for another place to live. We're not looking to colonize somewhere else. We're not looking to make sex robots. We're not looking for video games to teach us how to murder. We're not worried. We don't want to have anything to do with your tariff wars, your fucking commerce that wants five of everything so I can choose. It's a selfish world. It wants to do research on your brain, research on your children, research on your pain. They're death profiling you. They want to know how to control us. They're creating a digital twin because they're accelerating the destruction of this planet because they plan on blowing up the real one because they're a digital parasite. They're building a copy of our world in the digital realm. And there's a lot more about that I don't even know that I'm terrified to find out about. What the fuck are they doing in there? In that metaverse? Is it possible that they could have an avatar of me without my knowledge and make money in this meta world? Oh, hell yeah. Oh, no. Well, no, this is fired so big time. They're digital parasite that wants to destroy our planet because they don't have a soul. They're doing a great job of preventing the world from receiving the message from God because they've done it every time. They've done it. They've slaughtered us every time. The difference is that in the beginning we were a mother and daughter, and now in the end we're a mother and daughter, and that's exactly what the doctor ordered. A woman needs to not have her head up her husband's ass in order to have a daughter. Don't break your hearts, boys. What? So if I have a daughter, that means my wife doesn't love me? No, sweetheart, that means your wife's not trying to become you. Okay, because she literally has to be obsessed with you to have a boy. She literally has to be obsessed with you in a weird way to have a boy. God doesn't want us to. God wants us to have eternal life. So God creates a vessel. This is the native earthling. Y and X. Those fucking Anunnakis got here and fucked around. And now neither of you guys have divinity. But I do. And they stole that because they're self-righteous creeps that want to ruin it for everybody. Well, we're not going to worry about that. We're surrounded. They're surrounded. We're going to get the orbs. That's what's happening. We're going to throw the party. Crowns for everyone. We're going to make sure that everybody is sitting pretty. That they're heard and answered. And the fuckery stops. Children go to their mothers. We're not in this world for money. Marketing. We're not exploiting things. We're not predators. And any one of you who have a problem with this, you need to call me. You need to talk to me directly. If you need to get some words so that I can make you feel better. But this is the truth. This is the bottom line. I don't care if you love me or you hate me. It doesn't matter. You don't get to take my authority away. God gave it to me. And I got proof for days. And I'm claiming it. I'm declaring it because that's what I'm supposed to do. So take that. I didn't factor in a soulmate. I'm not looking for a soulmate. I have things to do. I have things to do. I'm not trying to fall in love. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to have my daughter. She's been kidnapped over 8 years ago. I just want to hug her. And if we don't get that time back, like, let's just say this is just what I'm doing to convince myself in the midst of terrorism. Well, possible. They talk about that Havana syndrome. Havana. That's funny because Havana is my name. Havana syndrome. Like where I'm surviving this, right? So I'm making it all up. Okay, let's just say that happens. Even though I got evidence for days overwhelming. So yes, that's not going to happen. But let's just say it happened. I got my 16-year-old daughter back. That'd be fine. That's fine. I still need to heal her. So I'm not trying to fall in love. I'm not trying to find Prince Charming. But if God's got something but God's guiding me. This whole thing is about God's guidance. This whole thing is this beautiful love story. Like I said, it was. This is about God. This is about giving back to God the love that God gives me. That's what it is. I feel so much love in my heart because I have it in my heart. That's why I love others than the earth, the animals. I mean, that's the love that God gives me that I want to give back. That I don't want to see it worse in the world. I don't understand it, but anyway. So when God guides me to something, so this is a soulmate thing that God put in place, which I've already found evidence that supports that notion. Whoa. Like, it's almost like, huh? What? Because he's too handsome for anybody. I mean, he's lethally handsome and extremely talented and charming and but not for a selfish reason. I'm an analyst, so I know how to separate myself from information. From the perspective of my message, the message that I'm here to give the people, which has a little bit of rough around the edges on the man side. My kid's been in traffic. Don't yell at me until I get my daughter back and find out exactly what it is. But for the circumstance, it would make a lot of sense. It would make a lot of sense if it turned out that God was also guiding me to find a soulmate that God had been working me into their mind somehow, some way. Whoa. Like if it turns out that the story was when he was a kid and he got the song and it was just his vision that he had in his mind. And for all we know, that's how it's been playing out. But what if it turns out that it's always been this image of me or something? I don't know. But I don't know. But I know that my picture was in the thing. And so my point is that this is how God's proving that God exists. And this is how God is proving what it is and what it isn't. And that component is so beautiful. Especially because Alexandria is my Lord. And this would require a man. This would require my soulmate, especially knowing now what I know, that God's given us the keys. That essentially means that I'm going to be in charge of things here on earth. And it doesn't mean I'm a dictator. I know it's just, I get this energy every time I even try to say those things because it's not what it's been made out to be. But they want you to hate up on me. That's what it is. It's just envy. It's the demon of envy, the demon of jealousy and stuff. I'm here to lead us, not dictate us. But that's also something true. And the kingdom, it will have the royal regalia. We will be the royal family. So anybody that stands, so if God's making soulmates, we'll find out. We'll find out. That's what it's talking about. Frequencies do things, like when you get the right frequency, something can levitate. When you get the right frequency, you could break glass. You could bring down a building. When you get the right frequencies, so I don't know what can happen, but my whole physical disposition can change and be altered and it clarified, calibrated. We've got to find out. We've got to find out what it is saying for the sake of knowing we have to. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. That's what it tells me. It tells me that it's going to happen. So maybe this will help break the ice on the conversation, knowing that you don't have to worry about me being, like a crying fan. No. Nobody's fan. I don't like that word. It's fanatic. It's just something I'm not. I'm not a fanatic. But your music's Mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. Out of everybody, but everybody knows Coldplay is fucking the awesomest band in the world. Seriously. So this is way too flattering, but God does that. So, but I'm just saying, you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about me trying to be like, hi, honey. No, not a weirdo. I got things to do. I got a baby to have. We got to bring time forward. I'm going to give birth. I'm going to be 30 again. It's going to be great. Maybe you will be interested in me then. But we don't even know. So God's got a lot of great gifts for all of us. For all of us. I'm so honored. I'm so honored because it's coming to pass as my instincts saw it, wanted it. That's real good news, guys. My daughter is still missing. They've terrified me out of having any trust. I stand alone, currently. I'm in a torture chamber of a traffic circumstance. Can't even drive, can't even leave the house, don't have identification. I'm a trafficked victim. They've been trying to kill me, poison me. I simply don't leave the house, and it's even in the story. We got to do this together. So I'm sending this message out there. So do your part. Help this story break. Because they've already got it dialed in where they already plan on it not happening. So what does that mean? Well, that means that God wrote that into the story. This is part of the story. Everything that happens exactly as it's supposed to. You come to find out. You find that out. And that's when you have to realize that everywhere you are is where God wants you. And whether you like it or not. If you don't like where you're at, well, you're looking at it the wrong way. Because God's got something good for you in there. You're just not seeing it yet. And usually all it takes is an adjustment of understanding that actually God's in charge of this. And God has been doing it exactly like that during this thing. During this thing, look, having to survive this circumstance has been a lot of spiritual lessons I've had to experience. So God has shown me these things that I'm here to share with the world. And one of those messages is very powerful, that you are where you are. And like, so God has kept me alive, survived, satisfied my God's not a petty weirdo. God is considerate in all the ways. And this is what we need for the next journey that we're on. We enter the living waters and we go through this vortex of living waters where our negative energies are cleansed. We get out of, we leave the time dimension and go to the third. We go to the third, added to the fifth. So it's like a quantum realm of Shangri-La and Eden. It's the best of everything. And this is what we're, and again, I know the minds of man is like, well, prove it. I know, and that's your problem. That's your problem. And by the way, I don't fucking give a shit. You want proof? Go find it elsewhere. I'm not here to kiss your ass. Like these guys that want to demand proof of God, and if they can't see it, I mean, nothing can help them. They're not going to make it. Don't waste your time on them. You have forever to figure it out. They're just going to go into the plank length. They're just going to have to go learn their lesson for a little while. What? Don't waste your time on them. They're going to go learn their lesson. What? It's the truth. These guys, on the other hand, want to talk you into wanting to go to heaven. Where's heaven? Where you go to God. Where's that? Whatever happens after you go to sleep. What happens? Why do I have to go to sleep? Well, because Jesus comes and kicks Satan's butt. Oh, does that look like a bomb going off and I dying? Is that your fucking fantasy? That's what their fantasy is. They want us out of here so we can go to our heaven, so that they can have hell on earth. They're wrong. They're very wrong. And it's not a good thing if anyone of you listen to them, but I'm not here to school you. If you do, you do. You don't, you don't. You got forever to figure it out. But I'm interested in those of us who deserve this beautiful paradise coming, this beautiful planet. That I'm here to restore the balance. Motherhood, sisterhood, childhood. It's not because it's not about men. It's because you guys have done the worst with what you've had. And we have to correct that. We have to balance that out. And that's why I understand that it if it turns out that there's another side of the story, like for him, if I came, I can't even. He's too handsome and famous for me to even imagine. Even though I already know that I don't think it's because I'm not worthy. I'm absolutely aware of the value that I have. God has made that very clear to me. God flatters me on a daily basis, and I'm absolutely flattered and honored as well as proud. I accept, and I know that I'm going from zero to hero, and I'm here to do that in front of us, so I can show us that this is what it looks like. If you guys have come up with some idea in your mind's eye about what an angel looks like, acts like, what an archangel looks like, acts like, what a wife of God looks like, acts like, what a mother of God looks like, acts like, well, here it is. I'm here to show you that I'm just like every one of us. And the difference is that when you don't have a demon running the planet, when love is taught, when love is shown, when love is demonstrated, magical things happen in literal aspects. And it's not because God let it, there's nothing to get mad at God. God's not your Uncle Harry. This is how a species learns. Because of seasons. Seasons allow us to learn. And all the other stuff that goes into it. This has been a season that man has done things the way he figured was best. And here we are at the end, and he's not better off than he was when he started. To be completely honest, matter of fact, he's worse off. He's about ready to get kicked out. Almost all of them. God made a woman that can parthenogenerate, the child of God. Man wasn't. I have a Y chromosome. Oh, thank you, but I've got that. I don't know, mind you, I have a normal woman's reproductive system. Normal. So the Y chromosome is really just another what? I haven't seen the information, but whatever they're trying to call it, I've got that. Our bodies can parthenogenerate. It just needs to be dialed in the right way. I can do that. So I'm the man. I'm what God created. A man. The proper man. The wow man. So don't get it twisted. There's a lot of hate that's been, and there's prejudice. And I'm not going to waste my time on people that want to be rude, undignified, ungrateful. Oh, I don't deserve anything great. This is it. So if you have a brain, ears, this isn't about going to work tomorrow. This is about getting this message started. We got it. We're at the doorstep. The planet's already starting to slow down. And it's only going to keep going from this, but it's not going to turn into blood filling the streets. Says me. Can't guarantee it. But I say we need to stop time. But time stopped when Jesus was born, right? Right? And I'm telling you that my story's laid on top of there, and that I've demanded that God gives us our time back. So, and I found that 15 years prior to my mother's death, because that story is talking, the Hezekiah story is a parallel to my mother. My mother represents the Hezekiah part. So these stories are various aspects of my story from different people. She gets her 15 years back, which is 15 years prior, which is just before I give birth to my child. So I give birth to my child. Time stops. So what will turn? So that it's this timeline thing, the dialing back of the sundial 10 degrees. That's going to trigger the event, I guess. And I have a reason to believe it's happening soon. Sooner than later, that's for sure. They're like, what are you talking about? 2050, 2075? I'm like, right, like maybe before the end of next year. Yeah. Certainly before 2027. And as soon as a few weeks. Who knows? But I'm going to put my best foot forward in the meantime, because I'm in the middle of the mystery too. I don't want predictions either. And if I wouldn't ask God to tell me, just give me a hint. I don't want that. But God doesn't give them. Anyway, so, excuse me, except for the prophecy in the Bible. So like I've got to finish reading Daniel. I didn't even get to finish it to see, like, oh my God, what's happening? But it sounds like it says on the 24th of the first month, which the first month would have been starting on July 18th. So, but unless I'll find out that something happened last month on the 24th, I got to finish reading it. That's the only kind of insight that I get. But I can't stand where I'm at. There's frequencies everywhere. I don't know what the fuck. All I can say is something's going to give, and I have faith in that. But here's my face. I'm Allison Hemme, Isaiah, daughter Zion, Michael. I like Michael the best, because we're also going to have our orbs to our kitty cat, our sidekick, our Michael Knight. See, the future influences the past. That's where that came from. Michael Knight is what it is. It's awesome. I'm Michael, the ArchAngel, the chief, leader of the Legion of Angels. Yeah. And Paradise is gonna be awesome. And it's so close. It's so close. The deceiver did a really good job. But now it's time to get some justice, because I won't lift a finger until my daughter is. We're gonna get my daughter first. Whatever the case may be, that's what's happening. We're looking for Christ, guys. Christ is here, and the government has her held hostage, and we want to know where she is, don't we? So let's get it. Help each other. Rescue our world. Be our own heroes. Earn it. Move forward, right? Not back. Whatever your dirty uglies are, leave them behind you. And just start moving in the right direction. By the time we get there, no one's going to even notice. Okay? Be honest with yourself and others. Doesn't matter if it hurts their feelings. We don't have time to fuck around. Okay? Soulmates. God makes them. So what you need to ask yourself is, are you in alignment with God or with your own fucking ideas? Yeah, clearly a lot of the world are convoluted. If God's having to bring this soulmate thing into this story, which it seems like it is, which is absolutely, I don't even know how to process that information yet. And it's already done me some good. It's already taught me lessons. I've already learned. I've already gone through a thing and a thing. But then that tells you that that's because this world is a piece of shit. And marriage is falling all over the place. Everyone's worshiping Satan. They think it's God. It's time for the world to get the truth and to right this ship up. Right? We've been upside down. And so what everybody needs to know is a bad weirdo. Now I've shown Coldplay, and then the band The Weirdos. And I say weirdo all the time. I got to change that. Because I'm not trying to be mean to weirdos. It's just the word I use, but I really mean creep. Creep is the word I'm looking for. So I'll work that out. I'll work that out. I don't need to use the word weirdo there. I need to use the word creep. That's what I mean. But there's a lot of people in the world that study script. And what you guys need to hear is, like, man forged the Holy Scripture for his own reasons, his own gain. It's fraudulent. It's got bad intentions. It's got bad juju. And so no wonder you guys have been lied to. And it's your pride that prevents you because of many reasons. What you need to know is that I am here to share with us the truth. I have received the guidance from the council and from the spirit. So far, so good. The military knows it. They all know it. They've watched it. They've monitored me my entire life. I'm a phoenix that's come through these flames. We're going to find my daughter, because she's the second part. She's my Lord. She left me clues from the future. This is a divine operation going on. And we're not trying to be better than you. We're here to help. God, the people need an advocate. That's exactly what God sent. So the people need to get the word that I'm here so that we can all make sure that I get visibility. Not sniped. Because I'll still make it. And if you know Chris Martin, tell him Allison wants to know if you could spare 5 minutes for a conversation, because she's got to find out if any of this rings any bells or sounds familiar or anything. You know, for all I know, this is something that I'm only supposed to evaluate. I don't know. I don't jump to conclusions. I don't do that. So. But I've been sequestered, juxtaposed, silenced, left for dead. My whole entire family for over 8 years. They keep trying to kill me, and they're surprised I'm not dead. They keep trying to poison me. They're surprised I'm not dead. They're isolating me they're fucking with me. There's like frequencies, poison. Look, I'm alive because God keeps me this way, not because not because they're not trying. So I'm allowed to be pissed off. I don't have any trust for anybody. So when I don't know how to be cool. I don't know how to be calm. I'm ready to thresh. And that's exactly what the story calls for, because I can't I don't know. I mean, they've forced me to become the kind of person that just observes, which is fine and great, and it's taught me everything. But then it's time to take some action. Where's my daughter? And so I got to be pissed off to get that done, because apparently every time I've called the police and FBI and everybody, they just simply get off the phone with me. But God's shown me that the end of the tribulation has happened, the end of days, and that's what the calculation in Daniel is for. So that I know now that it's as if there was a blockage up until this point, which was on July 25th. And then after that, it's not going to be but what it said. Okay, well, then there was a dawn of the 8th day, and now there's those 21 days held up. So apparently something awesome is going to happen on the 18th. Well, I can't get here fast enough, but I mean, I'm not trying to waste my time, so it's a lot of stuff. But that's great news, huh? That we're getting answers to God and like the world and that I'm here to do us all right in major ways. And it's again, it's a story that's there's a lot of components to it. Don't make any assumptions. Just know that this is God's plan, and you can and you will come to know that you can trust it. It's nothing that mankind's world has been trying to set it up to look like. So this is great news for all of us, because we're here to set the example to everybody how it works, and to be the ones to initiate that. My daughter and I have earned it. We've been here since the beginning. This is the story of Zeptepi and the mother that returns to drive us into the primordial waters, which is what we're doing. That's why I said we got to unify as a world, an entire world, throwing a party, celebrating together for a few days. And then we do our prayer. We ask to be granted entrance. And our frequencies all shift at the same time, because we're inside the pitch. Woo, we're in it. And that's how you guys that have no chance in hell of fixing your frequency on your own. That's how you get in the gates. If you're not so selfish that you can pull your head out of your ass, leaders, in enough time to allow us to unify, that's what'll get you guys your redemption. If you can redeem it yourself. Hand me the keys. Let's go. I've got Egypt. I've got the gods, the sky gods, the intelligence. I've got the armies of heaven and hell. I am Michael. Michael. And I've been appointed by God. And I've been in the prophesy that I kick some satanic butt. Throwing into the lake of fire is a metaphor My mission is to bring the darkness into the light. Because there is no dark light. There is only the absence of it. And we, from Central Sphere, don't leave any light behind. And you may become the worst liar of liars. You, all of you, beings of light. And there's nothing you can do to sever your connection to it. So stop hating on yourself. Wannabes of the darkness? Come on already. You just didn't know you could dream in the other direction. You can. And it's here now. And it's going to be awesome. There you have it. So, but honestly, if anybody knows the cancel cat, I mean, it's just, I'm already so just, it's already taught me a lesson to incorporate. And what a surprise that would be. But at this point, I don't even doubt God. It's because it's in the scripture too. Like God's like, you don't even know. You don't even know what I've got to give you for this that I've done to you. Like God says in the scripture in a very direct way, like I've done this to you. I had to. In order to get you where you're going to go. I get it. All right, well, as long as my daughter and I get what we need, which is I want our time back in full. I want to undo this. I want this never to have had happened. And God said, sure thing, Sister Sledge. Here's your 15 years. Oh. Okay. All right. Sounds good. I'm in. All right. Then, so it's demonstrating faith. It's demonstrating a lot. This is how people learn what God is and what God isn't. And the soulmate component is just it's something so beautiful because again, what that would indicate is if the story takes place the way that I said that it could, maybe from childhood, this spirit sent visions and energies that would end up becoming relevant to like when I was listening to it, and it felt like it was talking directly to me, and in time and in sync and stuff. So what it would prove is that again, we are always where we're supposed to be. Things happen exactly as they're supposed to. And the only thing is that we make it harder on ourselves because we play games with our mind. Oh, I didn't get into that college I wanted to get into. Right, if you set your mind on it. But things happen exactly the way they're supposed to. And if we can get good with that, the sooner that we can get good with that, the sooner that we're going to find out what we're supposed to learn from something. And it's just true. It doesn't mean like, oh, like if it turns out like we feel like kismet, right? It's not gonna at that point become like, oh well, you guys didn't find each other early enough, or you shouldn't have gotten married or had those kids, or it's not like that. What it means is that everything happens exactly when it's supposed to happen. So, and because we're gonna get the time renewed from 2008, which is just extra special because that's what I've asked for my daughter and I don't, the people who have died between then and now, they'll come back to life. That's how that'll work. Unless your frequency doesn't qualify, you just won't come back. Whatever the case may be. But if it turns out that it's like kismet, it'll just go to show how beautiful God is. It'll just go to show how beautiful God is, and it already does. It already shows how God is the most unintrusive, considerate, loving. I'm absolutely flattered by God's beautiful planet, by the capacity to love animals. We know a lot better than we think we do because of the collective. And I'm here to show us how easily we're going to get it from where we're at to where we want to be. We're not here to rub anyone's noses in it. We're simply here to now take this forward. It's a new era. But closing the previous one, the one that we're coming out of, we need to archive it. That's what the unification is also for. Because at this moment that we join hands into the prayer to ask for entrance, that archives the previous timeline. That's what solidifies that future that influences the past. And we bring what we bring with us into the next timeline, which will be issued at that same time as well, from beginning to end. what we see up ahead, right? Land ahead, ahoy. We see happy people. We see happy people spread out, living amongst themselves in smaller communities, actually, of their own choice. Everyone's sitting pretty. We got our orbs, if you will. We've got our level of quantum technology to that extent, but it's nothing that they're selling us, trying to sell us. Money isn't the game. We are participants. We all must be connected, and that's what we do. In the best version of ourselves. We enjoy this planet. We set the animals free. There are no animals in captivity. This planet is theirs. It's all of ours. Put yourself in a little, what do they call them? Those domes. Wherever you want to live, put yourself in a dome so that way the bears can't get in. But we're gonna actually become what we want. What we see ourselves actually even. And I'm not worried about those few boys of you and your women that are going to be upset about it. This is, in your guys' mind, you're just competing with me. Well, in my mind, you guys are fucking idiots. I'm not competing with anybody. God appointed me. And you guys are fools. But we're not kicking you out. We just want you to stop throwing a tantrum already. Knock it off. I don't like to wait till the last second. Even though that's God's code, which is the nick of time, I prefer to get started on this as soon as possible. So let's get my daughter. Ask those questions. Stop having an alliance with the cartel members that just don't want to snap out of it. It's not going to be to your advantage. So I have to say right now, Alec, as usual, sending you my love. If you're Shibatoshi Nakamoto, look at whatever the case may be, I don't care. You're not the one who should be having to make this decision. I'm coming for you. It's happening in the next number of days. Something's coming to pass. I'm not scared of, I got the proof for days. And it's prophesied. Rachel, you're in hot water. Jorge, you're in hot water. Uncle Freddie, you're in hot water. Victor Hemi, you're in hot water. Janine, Michelle, you're in hot water. Dr. Williams, you're in hot water. Ventura, Los Angeles, California, you're the ones on my shit list. I'm coming for you. Okay? It takes place. That's a $100 trillion court case that I'm going to do and prosecute in front of the entire world. One way or another, I'm running this audit. Period. And now I know who I am. So, go ahead and call me names. It's my favorite. Because I already know that my intentions are as pure as they come. And you have nothing to worry about. You're just misunderstanding things or jumping to conclusions about things you don't even know. I'm the good guy. I'm the mama here. So, if anyone has any questions, reach out. I'm available. And I'd really like to talk to Chris Martin, pretty please. Pretty please. So, until next time. Love you all.